Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. I'm glad you're here. So, um, doing a couple more pockets today. So I'm going to try and do just kind of quickly a couple of different kinds of pockets that I realized I didn't really have in my stash. There are a couple of styles of pockets that I really like to make. So I have a couple here that are decorated that I just made quickly before I started recording. And yeah, I just wanted to share them because I think they're pretty fun and they're very easy, and you can use up whatever you have on hand. So I am, of course, using book pages and scraps. But here is one type, and I should have wrapped something to stuck into the pocket, but I did not. So this is just a book page pocket, very simple. So you can put something, a little tag or whatever. Inside this can get glued into a journal. I should have had a journal out, but I don't. So we'll just pretend. Put it in a journal. Then you can have whatever design you want on the outside of it. And then this is the other style, which is also made from book pages, and it has several layers of pockets. So let's talk about this kind first. And I just very quickly decorated one of these guys, but you can make them out of just about anything. I like using smaller books for these because they're already to the right size that you need and they work great. So I have made up some little piles of stuff and I just sew them. You can glue them. You don't have to sew them. If you don't have a sewing machine or don't like using your sewing machine, all you have to do is glue in the edges. So what do you need? You need some book pages or some paper. Like I said, I like using book pages, especially some of the smaller, weirder books that I have, because they work really fantastically. So I have a couple of examples. So this is a small magazine, which if you're making slightly larger journals, this would be perfect. And all you would do is find a couple pages that you'd like to use. No big deal. Then another option. So here's what I did with, this is a Birdwatcher's Digest from 1988. I got a stack of these from my sister. Somebody was getting rid of them. She was like, hey, do you want these? They're really fun. I'm going to do a video probably just on one of these little books to give people ideas on all of the stuff that you can do with them. Kind of similar to I did with that gardening journal. But you can see, this is all I did. Pull out a page and then find another page. Like this one I chopped a little bit shorter because I didn't want to cover the pictures. You just layer them up and then you sew around the edge and then you have some pockets. And then I make up a bunch of these and then I decorate them later. So another book page, and then I find another page that I think kind of looks fun with it. That's pretty much all that you do for these, is just 2 book pages. So here's another one with some pretty birds and some other interesting designs. Now you could cut thumb holes to make them a little bit more fancy if you wanted. You don't have to do that. So that's using like a little magazine style page, which they're a little bit more busy. Depends on what you like. You could also use cardstock, whatever kind of paper you have. Here's another way that I did one. So I have a little thesaurus. I have it broken down so I can just pull the pages out. So you just take 2 pages, pull them out of the book, like so. And then figure out which words you want. Sometimes you're like, oh, maybe not that word. This one works better. And then depending on how you fold them, you can make more writing upright, but some of it's going to be upside down. So it just really depends on how you want to layer them and how big you want your pockets to be. So I kind of lay it out how I want it to be and then line it up and fold. That is it. And then you can glue. So you'd glue here and on the edges and you're done. Or you can ink and decorate and do all of that stuff before you glue it together. Completely up to you. So you have another stack of these ready to go onto this sewing machine. Give you one more book example because I thought it was kind of interesting. So I have this book on stamps and stories, and it was in this box of stuff that was with some stamps. So for one, I plan on, like, if I didn't have a billion stamps, a book like this would be great to be able to just cut out the images of these stamps and add them into things. But since I have a huge box of stamps, it's not something I would normally use. So then once again, and since it's an older book, sometimes I'm a little bit more careful about what it is on them, because you never know. World is different than it used to be. So sometimes language is not the greatest. But then you decide which ones you want to layer. I'm going to leave Susan B. Anthony up here because I think that's interesting. And then you decide what you want to stick out. Do I want the stamps to be up here? Do I want these stamps to be up here? So that I like the colors on that. But then that means this is going to be upside down, but that's a nice contrast. So you just kind of got to look at it and see which way you would like them to be. And then you just fold. And if it's not perfectly folded straight like I just did, it's fine. Or you could fix it. No big deal. So I made up a huge little stack of these guys too. As you can see, a huge little stack. Nancy. So then sewing machine, zip, zip, zip. That's it. Just sew around the outside and you're good to go. So I have a little stack of those that can go to the sewing machine. This is what I like to do. So I'll make a little stack. I'll fold them all the way I want them to be. Then I go to my sewing machine and I just go through my little stack. And then I have a bunch of these. Here's one more example of a book that I grabbed. So this is from a national park. It's an Appalachian Trail Guide. So once again, it's text pages, but they have this rounded shape, which I think is nice. And it has some pictures in it, which could be really nice. I might use some of those for some other things because that's like a really nice black and white background picture. That could be fun for something. But yeah, once again, pull out a couple pages because a lot of these older books that have a glued spine, you can kind of just pull them out super easily. So I'm just going to pull out a couple pages just to show. And this is why I like using the pages from the same book, because they're exactly the same size. I don't have to do any sort of cutting, trimming, anything like that, unless I really want to, unless there's like a picture I want to emphasize or something like that, which can be really nice. Little field guides of plants can be really nice for this because then you can have flowers peeking out of some of them. And I did have a journal out that I had one pocket like this in it, but I don't know where I set it. I might have put it away. But here we go. So that would be another one that you could do that's got a little bit more interest because of the rounded edges. And that's another thing. You can round your edges, nip your edges, do whatever. So that's another example there for you. So super easy, really fun little pockets, and you can just make stacks and stacks of them and then have them ready to go and you can decorate them later. So, and that's exactly what I did. It took me like just a couple minutes. I pulled one of these pages out. It was already sewn. I inked the edges, and then if you want to ink, because there's already sewn, I tuck a piece of paper in and then just ink the edge of those. And the other thing is, once they're sewn, you can still get your little circle punch in some of the pockets if they're big enough. And think about the size too when you're doing this. So these pages are a little over, they're like probably not quite 4.5 wide. And then it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 tall. So that's perfect to fit into if you have a smaller journal. So that becomes a really fun background. Maybe it covers up some other text or an image that you're not quite as fond of, something like that. So just to give you an example of that kind of pocket. So there's really nothing else to show on these because they are so simple and they're fun, and you get a really cute pocket out of it. That's really, really fun to do. These I used, this is some of my beet dyed paper. So this is from Beets, which is, I had a little encyclopedia and I soaked the whole thing in leftover beet juice from canning. So I had a ton of beets. And when I did my processing of beets to go in the freezer, I had all this amazing red juice left over. So I cooked it down just a little bit to get more intense color. And then I did a ton of paper dyeing just with my leftovers from when I was getting beets to put in the freezer. This one is from a crossword book. So it's crosswords, and I think it makes a really fun And it was an older crosswords book, so that's why it's got kind of the brown paper. So another fun thing you can do there, just as an example of different types of little books to use for that. Book guts work fantastic for those. All right, next. Switching gears, these fun little book pages, which I haven't made these for a long time, and I realized why not? Because they're really cute and they're super easy, and it's another scrap buster. So book page or other junk pieces of paper that you might have lying around, and have them, make them whatever size you want. You can make them smaller, you can make them bigger. So this is from one of these, but then I tore the edge. I didn't even use a scissors or anything. I used a ruler, and I just was tearing the edges off of stuff. And then I went through my scrap bin to find out some pockets. So this is left over from another video from trimming off some other stuff. So here is, I have a little stack of these that I did because I grabbed a different bin of my scraps, and of course I found some fun things that I was like, oh, I didn't know that was in there. So this is some book guts from, I think it is a German book, and it looks like it was a play or an interview or something like that. And then this is a scrap from one of these Birdwatchers digests, and it makes a great little pocket on this. And then you could decorate more, decorate less, do whatever, make a thumb hole. So you can see, I like the torn look, but you can, and so that's, I'll tear down the edges of the pages. I used to, I used to make a ton of these pockets because I thought they were really pretty and really cute, and I just haven't done it for a while. I'll take a stack of book guts that are all the same and tear them all down at roughly the same size so that I end up with something that's a little bit more this size. So I take off a lot of that white space around the edge, and then start finding other scraps of paper that'll work as pockets. So this one is ready to get glued together. Here is another example, because like I said, I pulled out a box of leftover stuff and there were random book pages in it. So this is from one of those little botanical journals for flower identification. Leftover used word search. Would look super cute if you ink this all up, add a little cluster or something like that. And here's another one, another type of book page. Same thing. All I did was tear this down a little bit more to size. This one I could tear down some more. Simple, easy. And then here's another one. Little mallard duck. Like that. Super cute. That would be such a cute pocket in a journal. I can't even tell you. So let's make one really quick. What do I have up here for books? We'll make one of these little book page pockets quick. Should we use a stamp book? Let's do it. Let's find a fun page. Keep getting to this one. I don't want that one. Some color or something. Minerals. Ooh, these people are fun. Let's do this one. All right, so there's a book page, like so. Wow, that's really cute and pretty. I don't want to use that one. I might use that for something else. Let's use this one instead. Just kind of color, more color background. See, I'm being picky now. And now I'm just gonna grab my scrap bin and I'm gonna see what I have, because our pocket is gonna go down here. I'm gonna leave the edges of this one straight because it's almost like the perfect border. And let's see what'll go nice with this. I have some interesting scraps in my little bin. So this is my newest little bin that's on my table. It is far too large. Okay, that's cute. Just like that. So once again, I just pulled something out. This is a paint swatch that I grabbed when I was at the store the other day. And I had some splatters on it from working on something else. So it's already slightly decorated. So then this, let's just glue it on. Do I want the sparkles on the top or the bottom? I kind of like it this way. I do. That would be cute if we stitched it too, but we're not going to. We're just going to make this really fun and quick. So glue. Put your pocket where you want it. Oh, you know what? This will look cute in that This is the perfect colors, I think, for the, one of the journals in my round 2 had been, what is it? Oh, my succulent journal. So I'm going to grab that really quick because I have that in this box up here. Hopefully I won't bump my camera. Okay, so this is one of my little round 2 bins, but I know where it is. So I have like some journals in process in here that have been waiting to carry on with their best life. And some other little random projects, some things that I eventually want to do some videos on that I haven't yet. Put you, I guess, back on the shelf for now. Okay, so let's make a pocket for this friend since we already know what journal it's going to go into. So there's our base. Let's find a page here quick. It's upside down. Also, let's pull this out. We might use that for decoration. So here we go. I know I've got a bunch toward the front. Let's find something closer to the back to put this. Oh, wait. I was going to say closer to the back, but this is kind of too much. This could be good for a smaller something. A smaller something. How about here? That is stupendous. I love that. Let's do it there. Okay, so we're going to put this friend right on this page. So, do we want to make it so it's a double pocket? Let's do it. So, I'm going to put a thumb hole up here, I think. Wow. I know it talks about minerals, but I think it's in a perfect color scheme for this. All right, a little thumb hole. Do we want to ink it? Yes, we do. Let's ink it. I had ink out. What did I do with it? This blue. This is kind of, this is the blue I have out, so that's what we're using. That's happening. Could use a brown too, but I think we're just gonna go for fun color today. Just to make it stand out from the background a little bit. So, ink. Okay, glue. We're gonna make this a big pocket. So, zoom. Where's my, I'm looking for my fold line so I kind of get it centered-ish. It's pretty good, I think. Okay, nice. So then what this also does is when you have these big text pages, this will help give you a spot for journaling. So you're actually adding journaling space into a book. You have a really pretty text page like this one, which I love the font style. That's why I use that book a lot. And it has these gorgeous little page things for the chapters. I'm slowly using it up. All right, so now we need a little bit more decoration on this friend. Will one of these succulents fit on here? He's kind of fun. So I'm going to trim him out a little bit. Okay, that's super cute. We're going to make that a little tuck spot too. So let's put a little bit of background something back here. And let's see, I want some color, some purple or something like that, because there's a lot of purple in this book, I think, too. I have a little strip of this pink, which could be nice. Oh, I just realized I might be really far down. Let's scooch up a little bit. Scoochels, friends. Too many books on my desk. There we go. This succulent image, by the way, is from a calendar. I have to make sure that I glue this on, it's not going to be in the crease of the book. So I need to see where that is, right there. Okay, don't move now, friend. Okay, so I have to make sure it sticks out just a little bit. It can stick out from the bottom of the page slightly, but I don't want it to stick into where the crease of the spine is. So we can rotate it slightly. Might have to cut this little petal off, I think. Maybe not. That's kind of fun. Go like that. Yeah. So now I need another little piece of that pink. Let's do a piece up there. I'm just gonna glue that kind of the edge a little bit. Like that. Cute, cute, cute. That is adorable. I feel like it needs like one more little thing. Yep, I found this. I'm just going to use up another sticker on my little sticker bin here of all the random stickers. And there's this cute little sticker. It says Hello Sunshine. And I'm gonna just, boop. Do I wanna use? Let's use the blue on this one. Super easy thing you can do with your stickers if they have a lot of white border that you're not a fan of. You can ink them. Just ink them a little bit. See, it's like it was meant to go there. How absolutely cute. And there's still plenty of space on this journal for it to be more decorated by whoever gets it in the future too. So really fun, super cute. Make some pockets. What do we do? 2 types of pockets really fast. It's been like only 25 minutes-ish. I might have fast forwarded a little bit through stuff. I don't know. Because I just wanted to try and just do this really fast and show you guys some pockets that are super fun and easy. So make some book page pockets. Use up some scraps. Do your thing. And like, share, subscribe. But art with your heart. Okay? You guys have a great day.